Hey there, so at Fiddes Martial Arts in Brisbane this week, we are talking all things road safety with our students. It is Queensland Road Safety Week this week. So we are talking to the kids about all the different things about being safe around the road and crossing the roads and so on. So I thought I'd share that with everyone here today. So one of the first things that we do want to do is always make sure that we are crossing at a crossing. Now here in Australia, we call it a zebra crossing because of the black and white stripes on the road, obviously, or a pedestrian crossing. Otherwise, you might call it a crosswalk or a school crossing, something like that. Obviously, those designated places for crossing the road is the safest place to cross, if at all possible. And if it's not possible, then there's some other obviously safety things that we want to do to make sure that it is safe or safest to cross the road. Second thing that we do want to do is, if we're crossing at some traffic lights, is make sure that we are waiting for the lights, obviously for the pedestrian lights, to go green. So obviously waiting for the lights to go green for the pedestrian, for the crosswalk, is obviously going to keep us super safe, or the safest, not super safe necessarily. We can never control what the drivers are doing, and we need to obviously make sure that we are safe, and then we need to still go into our other steps. Now the next step that we're looking for is the stop, look and listen. And I actually had a student this week say stop, look, listen and think. And I thought that was a really good insight from a young person. So stop, look and listen is the next step. So stop, look and listen there. Obviously these days with increasing amounts of electric vehicles on the road, also push bikes, you're not necessarily going to be able to hear them. So we want to be encouraging children and adults for that matter, looking both ways before they cross, listen for the sounds of vehicles, keep their eyes open before they cross. So stopping at the edge, even if there's no cars that you can see, listen, there might be something coming around the corner or over the hill, or it might be that electric vehicle or a push bike or a scooter that you just don't see, that you can't hear coming. The next thing that we want to encourage to keep us safe when we're crossing the road is no distractions. So no distractions, that means no looking down at the phone, ideally taking your headphones off so that you can hear the traffic, making sure you're not reading a book, or for parents, for adults, making sure that we're able to focus on the road and making sure our children stay safe. Try not to get distracted by opening a packet of food for your kid, or your kid having a water bottle, or whatever the case may be. Limit distractions and focus entirely on the most important task at hand, which is getting across that road safely. The next one that we encourage for our little ones, and definitely one that I do for my kids, is for the children to hold an adult's hand when they're crossing the road. So obviously by holding an adult's hand, as the adult, we're able to control the child a little bit more, stop them, if they were to trip, obviously to be able to hold them up, but definitely stop them, running ahead or racing ahead, and potentially obviously getting themselves into a dangerous situation. So always having that physical contact. I know sometimes if you've got a young one in a pram, pushing the pram and holding the toddler or the young one might be quite difficult. So I know that some prams actually have straps on them that you can actually have the younger child, or sorry, the walking child, to hold whilst you're pushing the pram. And that's definitely a good idea. If yours doesn't come with that, I would definitely suggest trying to add some sort of strap on. It's a really good idea to make sure that everyone's in contact. So the next idea we had for keeping safe while we're crossing the road is making eye contact with the driver. Obviously, again, when we as the pedestrians are not controlling the driver, we're not controlling what they do, and we really don't know if they've seen us while we're standing on the side of the road, even if we're wearing bright yellow, bright orange, and we're as clear as day. Stopping, looking at the driver in the eye, a smile never goes astray as well. And then you can cross the road knowing that that driver has absolutely and definitely seen you. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I think that I remember from my childhood is never assume that the driver has seen you. Did a lot of push bike riding as a kid, and then as an adult as well when I was doing triathlons, and never assuming that the driver has seen you. Always look after yourself, assuming that everyone else on the road doesn't know what they're doing, and that's the best idea to keep you safe. So the last thing is not a safety thing, it is just a common courtesy and a good manners thing, and that is to smile, nod, wave, and say thank you to the driver for stopping to let you cross. Smile and wave, boys, smile and wave. Just a good thing, makes the driver feel like they've done a good deed for the day, and again, it's just another way of having that eye contact to make sure that they have seen you, and makes you feel good as well when you're being polite to other people. So there you go, that is a whole heap of road safety tips you can share with your children. Prompt discussions at home, hopefully keeping our kids safe around the roads. man, I live on a main road and it's right behind me outside, and you hear people hooning up and down it all the time. The thing you got to focus on is us as the pedestrians on the side, on the sidewalk, on the side of the road, to keep us safe as possible. And obviously for our kids, they don't have that awareness yet, and it's super important for us to teach them how to do that.